Well, mine also runs along the lines of a story like Natasha's. Before I start, just to give you a little backdrop. Our church does this outreach called Metro Harvest that goes into the city for like outreaches to impoverished and urban folk. So I asked her how I could get involved with that, and she recommended this story. It's called Furthering the Spirit. This year for Christmas, instead of the usual gift-making we do for Grandpa and Nanny, we were asked to help out others less fortunate than ourselves. I didn't understand this at first, but I did it in the form of volunteer work at a rec center in a bad part of Columbus, working one afternoon after school. The day started about... I'm sorry, what?
You know, do slower. I can hear you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. The day started about 4 o'clock when my brother dropped me off at World Harvest, the church we go to. I was introduced to a man named James, who was in charge of the outreach. We packed a truck full of food and Christmas presents and headed off for the rec center. James, myself, and about a dozen or so other volunteers arrived at Barrack Rec Center and unloaded the truck. Afterwards, most of the volunteers went off to the kitchen to prepare meals for the attendees who frequented the center. For the next 2 hours, I helped out wherever I was needed, whether it be setting up the audio equipment or guarding the rear door from early visitors. Soon we would start the service. Families from the neighborhood adjoining the center slowly trickled into the makeshift sanctuary. We had set up chairs and audio to reflect a small chapel, which was comforting and welcoming. Either side of the chapel was lined with presents which we would later give to families who couldn't afford gifts for their children. Not much later, the whole sanctuary was filled with men, women, and children of all ages, and our elder Mathis began to preach to them. My job was to guard the gifts from searching hands that might take someone else's gift. It was amazing to see people in the hardest time of their lives praise God with more fervor and faith than some of the blessed Christians I know with financial and job security. Sometimes we forget how good we have life. After the service, families who had pre-registered the week before were given presents, one at a time, for their little ones. I helped with the distribution of these gifts as alphabetically children came up with their parents to receive their gifts. The look in the faces of the kids who were expecting nothing for Christmas suddenly lit up with joy and laughter as they heard their name called to get presents from the strangers. The sensation of a child telling me, "You must be the real Santa Claus," is one I won't forget for the rest of my life. The grateful look on the weary faces of parents was relieved and sentimental as they witnessed their kids getting a real gift for Christmas. Soon the service was done, food was offered, and the guests left as slowly as they had come. We all cleaned up and loaded up the truck with what little supplies we had left. I reflected upon my belated evening on the ride home with new understanding and knowledge. I saw people in the deepest ditches rejoicing in God's name as if they were already in heaven, reinforcing the thoughts in my head that said, no matter where you are, God will always be with you. I also began to understand the true nature of our requested charitable work. It wasn't about writing a nice story or even making a few lives other than our own better. It was about furthering the spirit of Christmas and the rewards that come with it, whether it be a child's smile or a handshake from a thankful parent. Sometimes the greatest gifts in the world are the ones that no one else can give. Every now and then it takes a little perspective to bring back the true spirit of Christmas.